Today I'm going to be giving you some facts, leaks and opinions around the Quest 3. I still have my original Quest 2 that came out in October 2020 I think, and I've got the original 64GB model with the original Oculus logo on it, and it's still faring me well. All things are still going great with it, never really had any issues. It has got the replacement faceplate. I do have a new head strap on it though. I do use the Kiwi design, which makes it a bit more comfortable and a bit more robust. But other than that, original headset, original parts, still doing well. That said, are we going to be shifting to the Quest 3 later this year when it releases? Well, let's take a look at what it looks like. Let's take a look at some of the rumors and some of the leaks that we've had and what Meta is saying about it. So what do we know about the Quest 3 so far? According to Meta, the battery life is going to be around the same as the Quest 2, which for better or worse, you know, I mean, it could get worse. Given the high performance that they're boasting that the Quest 3 is going to be giving us, I'll take the same battery life. You know, if anything, you just need to get yourself a head strap with a battery pack on it. That's what I've done with my Quest 2 and it's fared me quite well, and that's probably what I'll end up having to do with the Quest 3 if the battery life is the same, which was around, I think, 2 hours depending on what you're playing. We know it's starting at $499 and £499, and I believe that's the 128GB model. There probably will be models released with more storage, such as when we had the Quest 2. Start out at 64GB, we then had the 128GB model and the 256. So if this is starting out at 128, I can imagine 256 at least, and then maybe even a 512, who knows. We know it's using pancake lenses, the same lenses that were used in the Quest Pro, which is one of the reasons we can now get a thinner, narrower device, because the lenses take up less room. We know it's going to be having full color mixed reality, supposedly better than the one that you got on the Pro. Now I never got to try the Pro, so I never got to try full color mixed reality. I've seen videos of other people using it and it looked fantastic. I would definitely use that sort of feature for some of the creative things I do with, you know, the artwork and stuff. It'd be nice to actually be able to paint in your own home, and some of those interactive games where you see zombies and ghosts coming in your own room. So that'd be quite fun. We know what the Quest 3 looks like. We know the design of it. We've got a picture right here, and in my opinion, it looks like a koala or an alien from Toy Story. Those are the frontal cameras that you've got, so that'll enable you pass-through tracking and all that wonderful stuff. Similar on the design, Quest 3, the controllers don't have the sensor rings that you would see in the Quest 2. That's these things right here. So I see that as a bit of a negative. I understand it's a design choice and it's probably the way that the controllers are now tracking themselves. I've got self-tracking in, I believe. However, one of the things I use this for is I could place that down onto a desk or whatever surface that you're near, and then whilst you've got your headset on, you can quickly grab them. And it made it more easy to store away. If you haven't got a docking station, that made it easy. Now, I get that was just us working with what we had, but that's something I'm used to now, and it's going to take some getting used to not having that. Not a major thing, not going to stop me buying the device, but it's something that we're going to need a solution for how we place our controllers. As I mentioned, the thinness, and it's now slimmer. Apparently it's 40% slimmer than the Quest 2, so that's fantastic. That's going to make it a lot more comfortable, sit better on your face, hopefully. The only issue I have is I wear glasses, so hopefully they've still engaged with the spacer that you got on the Quest 2. That is absolutely necessary. I can't see them taking it away, but I haven't seen too much news on the glasses situation yet. We know it's going to be backwards compatible with all of the existing Meta library. So that's over 500 titles already there. So if you're someone who's jumping straight into Quest 3 and you haven't had an existing headset, then you've got a library there of 500 plus games that you can just take a look at and hop right in. So that's fantastic news. In terms of the specification, I mentioned the pancake lenses. It also comes with a new Qualcomm Snapdragon chip, and Meta is saying that's going to double the GPU performance of the Quest 2. So that's quite a statement, and that hopefully is going to open up a whole new level of experiences and games that we can now play. Meta are also saying Quest 3's resolution will be the highest resolution yet, with a nearly 30% leap from the Quest 2, which is quite a statement, and that would be fantastic to see. They did a lot of work with the Quest 2 over the years, increasing different experimental features in the refresh rate, resolution. So I think at one point we got up to 120 hertz, which is fantastic. Obviously that does drain your battery a little bit more, tells you that when you activate it, but it's good that you get those improvements and quality of life improvements. We had those throughout the year through varying different updates, and the fact that they kept pushing the Quest 2 as far as it could go with all of these improvements, it's almost a different device to when it originally launched with all these updates. So given that they stretched the Quest 2 so much, I'm excited to see what the Quest 3 can do. Now again, I haven't tried the Pro, so I can't really comment on that one, but Quest 3 definitely is looking like more of a gaming headset than the Pro was, and it's going to be full mixed reality. It's going to be allowing for much more mixed reality content than the Quest 2 did, with your full colour pass through. So this week we also get to see the Guardian system that the Meta Quest 3 uses, which looks a lot more intelligent than the Quest 2, where you simply had to manually map out a play space. They have done some updates to it over the years, but this looks very similar to the PlayStation VR 2 version, although it's in full colour, and you can see that it automatically tracks there your sofa, and you've got a fun little friend to help you along. It looks pretty cool. Apparently the controllers now have true haptics, so I'm excited to see what those feel like. If it's anything like the PlayStation VR 2, which again, that's not Meta, so I'm not sure on how to compare the two. Adaptive triggers and everything on the PlayStation VR 2 are absolutely fantastic and spot on, and really do help with that immersion, particularly when you're playing shooters. So if they can get anywhere within that scope, that would be fantastic. Now, I don't really have any issues with the haptics built into the Quest 2 controllers. I thought they were pretty much revolutionary. I thought they were fantastic, and they certainly do add to immersion, and again, never any issues with it. But I'm excited to see what the true haptics looks like. So when are we going to get the Quest 3? Well, in the previous showcase and the announcements that we had, they were just saying autumn, coming autumn 2023. So that could mean anything. That's a broad period of time, and with anything there could be delays. Now, there is a Meta showcase on September 27th, which I will be tuning into. I'm expecting an announcement of a release date on the Quest 3 on that showcase, so I guess we'll have to wait until then. But moving on to leaks, we've had a couple of leaks regarding the Quest 3. One is an unboxing. So this video was posted on Twitter, or now X, by ZGF Tech on the 23rd of August. Here you can see taking out the Quest 3 from the box. You can see it is significantly thinner now. You see those cameras on the outside, then you see the controllers without the sensor ring coming out of their nicely packed box, nice and compact. And just for reference, this is the Quest 2 box when it originally came out. So you can see that the Quest 3 box is significantly smaller by the looks of it anyway. I don't have a chance to side by side, but obviously with the Quest 3 being 40% thinner and the controllers don't have the sensor loop, it's going to take up less room in the box. So looks like it's using less cardboard, and it's a much more compact box. We've also had a potential leak of a release date being October 10th, and that was released on Twitter by Ironbug VR, who showed a screenshot of one of the Amazon store pages for the Quest 3. And you could argue it's a placeholder, but you could also argue, it's a very specific date, so October 10th potentially. I mean, that would be great news if that was when we were going to get it. Normally when they drop the release like they did with the Pro, it was a very short period of time before we actually were able to pre-order and purchase. So I'm expecting that to be the same for the Quest 3 following the showcase on the 27th of September. I also seen some features, I can't remember where I read this. If I did, I'd credit it in the video. If someone knows, tag me or remind me where I seen it. My brain's a mush at the minute. But I remember seeing that we may be able to stream directly from the headset, which would be absolutely fantastic news, particularly for someone who doesn't have all of the stream equipment that they might need. It also saves you having to broadcast it to your PC before you do anything, and it means you could stream from anywhere, which would be great. Anywhere with a Wi-Fi connection, of course. But the potential of someone who travels and likes to stream while they're traveling, don't now have to take a laptop and any other streaming gear. You can just take your Quest and stream directly. But all in all, I think the Quest 3 looks absolutely fantastic, but only time will tell, because as within the VR space, we do get a lot of disappointments here and there. It is still a fairly new and immature technology. The problem with VR at the moment is they're trying to keep it within a budget, and obviously when you do that, you have to make limitations, and not all of the development studios out there have the budget that a AAA game developer might have. So we work with what we got. But that said, there's been some fantastic experiences brought out on the Quest in the previous years. Some of my favorites, as you'll see on my videos, I use Vermilion quite a lot, which is a oil painting simulator. Absolutely fantastic application. We've had the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, which really pushed the Quest, I think, and that was great experience. Medal of Honor. Now the thing I had with Medal of Honor was it took up pretty much the whole of my storage on my 64GB headset, which meant you didn't have the opportunity to play many other games if you had it installed, and I think that was detrimental to its success, particularly for the multiplayer, because if all you want to play is for multiplayer with your friends and that's all you can have installed, chances are you're going to uninstall it and install some new games. So, but now we're getting a bit more storage, better GPU, thinner headset, and it's all coming in at an entry cost of $499. Now that is £200 and $200 more than you would have paid entry into the Quest 2, but you're getting a product that's boasting to have increased performance, full color pass-through, you know, the latest technology. So I for one would be willing to pay it. It's still less than the PSVR 2 when I bought that, so it does mean that I'll probably have to sell my Quest 2 though, or maybe give it away, who knows. See how it goes first. I mean, it could be a train wreck. I don't think it's going to be, but if it is, you know, you've always got a Quest 2 sitting there. So if you are someone coming straight into a Quest 3, are you going to pre-order? Tell me in the comments, or are you going to wait and see reviews on the device before you even consider purchasing? But let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if I've missed anything, or if I've got anything wrong. Hopefully I haven't, but if I have, feel free to correct me. I'm looking for information on the Quest 3. It's very tight. Meta have kept the lips sealed quite a lot. I think they're waiting for the showcase before they really give us any solid information. The technical specs have been quite light, and they haven't really showed us too much of it. But I do know that developers are optimizing the games for the Quest 3, so we should notice a significant difference when we start playing. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Are you going to buy the Quest 3? Or are you going to stay with the Quest 2? Are you a new VR user, and are you considering whether to get the Quest 2 cheap now that they're going to reduce the cost? Or are you going to go for the Quest 3? Or are you going to go for an entirely different headset? Is there a headset that's going to be better than the Quest 3 you think we all might enjoy? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.